Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dominique Martin, a licensed therapist, and today I want to talk about 10 important conversations every couple needs to have for a healthy, lasting relationship. Many couples love each other deeply, but they struggle because there are important conversations that never happen. And not because they didn't care, but because no one ever told them that they should talk about these things. The truth is, healthy, long lasting relationships ain't built just on love or chemistry. They built on clarity, communication, and shared understandings. What truly sustains a relationship over time are the conversations couples are willing to have. And sometimes the easy ones, and sometimes the uncomfortable ones. These conversations are not one-time discussions. They're ongoing dialogues that evolve as your life together grows. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through 10 of the most important conversations every couple should have if they want the relationship to be strong, stable, and built for the long term. Okay, so let's start with one of the biggest areas couples struggle with. Conversation one, finances. So, money is one of the most common sources of stress in relationships. So, couples need to talk openly about how they approach money. And that includes questions like, how do we approach spending versus saving? Are we naturally more of a saver or a spender? It's also important to talk about financial goals as a couple. So, what are we working towards financially? Buying a home, building savings, paying off debt, retirement planning. And another key part of this conversation is how finances will actually be handled. So, will you combine finances completely, keep separate accounts, or use a hybrid system with some share and some individual money? And something that is also important to discuss is financial inclusion and independence. So both partners should understand the finances. Both partners should have access to financial information, even if one person manages the bills. The other person shouldn't feel left out or dependent. Financial transparency builds trust, and financial secrecy can break down trust. All right, moving on to conversation two, life plans and family. So, another important conversation is about life direction. Many couples may benefit from talking about their relationship vision. So, what kind of relationship do you want to create together? What do you want your life to feel like 5, 10, 20 years from now? What traditions do you want to build? Or what kind of emotional environment do you want in your home? When couples intentionally define their relationship vision, it helps them move through life with a shared sense of direction. It's also important for couples to talk about family planning. So, do you both want children? If so, when, how many? But it doesn't just stop there. Couples can also talk about parenting styles, and that might include how you were raised or what parenting approaches do you believe in, and also what kind of emotional environment do you want for your children. Some couples assume they'll just figure it out later, but differences in parenting styles and expectations can create serious conflict if they aren't discussed early. All right, moving on to conversation three, career goals and work life balance. So, your careers will shape a lot of your life together. So, it's important to talk about professional ambitions. So, what are your long term career goals? Is career advancement a major priority? Do you value flexibility and lifestyle more than professional growth? You should also talk about how work will affect the relationship. So, if one partner has a demanding career, how will you protect time for each other? Also, what does work life balance look like for both of you? Healthy couples are intentional about making sure that the relationship doesn't slowly get pushed aside by work and responsibilities. Okay, now on to conversation four, and that's communication styles. So every person communicates differently. Some people process emotions out loud, and others need time to think before they talk. Couples may benefit from talking about how they communicate best. So ask questions like, what helps you feel heard in conversations? What tends to make you shut down? Understanding each other's communication styles helps reduce misunderstandings and makes difficult conversations easier to navigate. Okay, and with that said, that leads to conversation five, and that's how you handle conflict. So, conflict in relationships is inevitable. The real issue ain't whether couples argue, the issue is how they handle those arguments. It's important to talk about what conflict should look like in the relationship. For example, is it okay to take a break if emotions get too intense? What boundaries are important during arguments? And one of the most important parts of this conversation is repair. So, after conflict, how do you reconnect? Healthy couples learn how to repair by taking responsibility, offering genuine apologies, and acknowledging each other's feelings, and intentionally reconnecting emotionally. Strong relationships ain't conflict free, they repair rich. Okay, now let's move on to conversation six, and that's past experiences. Every person enters a relationship with a life history. That includes past partnerships, family experiences, difficult life events, maybe even trauma, and also positive influences that shape who you are. When couples share these experiences, it helps create understanding. For example, if someone grew up in a chaotic household, they might be very reactive to conflict. Or if someone who experienced betrayal in a previous relationship might struggle more with trust. The more partners understand each other's history, the more empathy they can bring to the relationship. Okay, so let's get into conversation seven, and that's values. So, values shape the way we live our lives. They influence priorities, decision making, and long term direction. It's important for couples to talk about what matters most to them. So, for example, how important is family? What role does personal growth play in your life? Do you value stability, travel, adventure, community, financial security? When couples share core values, it creates alignment in life and the building things together. Okay, this conversation is often one that can make or break relationship satisfaction. Conversation eight, expectations. So, unspoken expectations are one of the biggest sources of relationship disappointment. It's important to talk openly about what each person expects from the relationship, and that might include expectations around emotional support, quality time, financial contributions, social life, and family involvement. That includes the vision of priorities and responsibilities. So, who handles what? Cooking, cleaning, finances, childcare, errands. The goal ain't necessarily a perfectly equal split. The goal is a system that feels fair and sustainable for both partners. Differences need to be talked about. Okay, now moving on to conversation nine. That's decision making. Another important discussion is about how decisions will be made as a couple. Some decisions may clearly be joint decisions, such as major financial choices, moving or relocating, or parenting decisions. But other decisions might remain individual. It's important for couples to talk about where that line exists. Healthy relationships balance partnership with personal autonomy. Okay, conversation 10, boundaries. Boundaries are another critical topic. It's important for couples to talk about what's okay and what's not okay in the relationship. And this might include boundaries around time, behaviors, extended family member involvement, personal space, and privacy. Healthy relationships are built through honest conversations, curiosity about each other, and a willingness to grow together. You don't have to have all these conversations perfectly or all at once. What matters most is that you are willing to start them. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more relationship insights. As always, stay motivated, and I'll see you on the next video.